The untold story of Maye Musk, how she raised a billionaire. Picture this. A single mother struggling to make ends meet, raising 3 kids alone while working multiple jobs. Sounds tough, right? Now imagine that same woman becoming one of the most respected models in the world, and her youngest son growing up to become one of the richest men on earth. This is the story of Maye Musk, the woman who defied all odds and shaped the future of Elon Musk. Maye Musk wasn't born into luxury. Far from it. She grew up in Canada but spent much of her childhood traveling because her family loved adventure. Her parents were daring individuals who took their kids on road trips across continents. Life seemed exciting back then, full of freedom and possibilities. But when Maye became a teenager, reality started to creep in. At just 19 years old, Maye married Elon Musk, a man 10 years older than her. They had 3 children together, Elon, Kimball, and Tosca. On the surface, things looked okay. But behind closed doors, life was anything but perfect. The marriage turned toxic, with Errol showing signs of emotional abuse. For years, Maye stayed quiet, hoping things would get better. But they didn't. When Maye finally made the brave decision to leave the marriage, she found herself starting over at age 31. Imagine that, a mother of 3, no safety net, and a mountain of responsibilities ahead of her. To make matters worse, she moved to a new country, South Africa, where she knew almost no one. It was here that Maye began building a life piece by piece, juggling work as a dietitian and model while raising her children alone. But raising kids isn't easy under normal circumstances, and Maye's situation was far from normal. Money was tight. There were days when putting food on the table felt like an impossible task. And yet, through all of this, Maye refused to let despair take over. She worked tirelessly during the day and studied nutrition at night so she could build a career that would support her family. At the same time, she encouraged her children to dream big, even if those dreams seemed out of reach. Little did Maye know, her youngest child, Elon, was already dreaming bigger than anyone could have imagined. By the time he was 12, Elon had taught himself computer programming and created his first video game. He would sit for hours tinkering with ideas, often skipping meals because he was too focused on solving problems. Maye saw something special in him, but she also worried about how different he was from other kids. He was intense, driven, and sometimes hard to connect with emotionally. As the years passed, Maye continued to face challenges. She dealt with financial struggles, health issues, and the constant pressure of being both a provider and a parent. Yet, despite everything, she never stopped believing in her children or herself. She instilled values in them that would shape their futures: resilience, independence, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. And now, decades later, people around the world know the name Elon Musk. But what many don't realize is that behind every great success story, there's usually someone who laid the foundation. Someone like Maye Musk. As the years went by, Maye's life became a balancing act between survival and ambition. She worked long hours as a dietitian, helping clients improve their health, but it wasn't enough to cover all the bills. So she turned to modeling, a career she had dabbled in before her marriage. Modeling gave her flexibility, but it came with its own set of challenges. In an industry obsessed with youth, Maye often felt out of place. People told her she was too old or not glamorous enough. But instead of giving up, she leaned into her uniqueness. She embraced her natural gray hair and striking features, refusing to conform to anyone else's standards. While Maye fought to keep her family afloat, her children were growing up fast, and they weren't ordinary kids. Elon, in particular, stood out. He was brilliant but socially awkward, spending most of his time buried in books or working on inventions. At school, he didn't fit in. Kids teased him relentlessly, calling him names and making fun of his obsession with computers. It broke Maye's heart to see her son struggling, but she couldn't shield him from everything. Instead, she taught him how to rise above it, to focus on what mattered most: his dreams. One day, when Elon was still in high school, he came home brimming with excitement. He had an idea for a video game called Blastar. It was simple by today's standards, but for a 12-year-old, it was groundbreaking. Maye encouraged him to finish it, even though money was tight. When Elon finally completed the game, she helped him market it to magazines. Eventually, he sold it for $500, a small amount, but a huge milestone for a young boy with big ideas. But not every moment was filled with victories. Life threw curveballs at Maye that tested her strength in ways she never imagined. One of the hardest moments came when her ex-husband Errol tried to insert himself back into their lives. He showed up unannounced, demanding custody of the children. The legal battle that followed drained Maye emotionally and financially. For months, she lived in fear that she might lose her kids. But she fought back fiercely, determined to protect them from harm. In the end, she won full custody, but the scars remained. Through it all, Maye kept pushing forward. She moved her family to Canada, seeking better opportunities and a safer environment. It wasn't an easy transition. They arrived with almost nothing, just 2 suitcases each. At one point, they lived in a tiny apartment, sharing a single bedroom. Money was tighter than ever, but Maye refused to let her kids feel defeated. She reminded them that hard work pays off, no matter how tough things seem. Elon took those lessons to heart. As he got older, his ambitions grew bigger. By the time he was in college, he was already dreaming of changing the world. He talked about revolutionizing industries like energy, transportation, and space exploration. To most people, these ideas sounded crazy. But Maye believed in him. She saw the spark in his eyes, the same spark that had driven her to overcome her own obstacles. Still, there were moments when Maye questioned whether she was doing enough. Was she too focused on work? Did she spend enough time with her kids? These doubts haunted her, especially late at night when the house was quiet. But then she'd look at her children and see how far they'd come. Kimball was thriving in business, Tosca was pursuing her passion for film, and Elon was unstoppable. By the early 1990s, Elon left Canada to attend university in the United States. It was a bittersweet moment for Maye. On one hand, she was proud of him. On the other hand, she worried about letting go. After all, she had spent nearly 2 decades pouring her heart and soul into raising him. What would happen now that he was stepping out on his own? What Maye didn't realize at the time was that her sacrifices were about to pay off in ways she never dreamed possible. While Elon pursued his vision of the future, Maye continued to chase her own dreams. Her modeling career began to take off in unexpected ways. Brands started noticing her unique look, and soon she was walking runways and appearing in campaigns alongside models half her age. People admired her confidence and authenticity. Magazines labeled her a trailblazer, proving that age truly is just a number. But success didn't erase the struggles of the past. Maye carried those memories with her, using them as fuel to keep going. And as her fame grew, she used her platform to inspire others. She spoke openly about her experiences, about being a single mother, about overcoming adversity, and about the importance of resilience. Her message resonated with millions of people around the world. Meanwhile, Elon's journey was taking off in spectacular fashion. He co-founded Zip2, a software company that eventually sold for nearly $300 million. Then came PayPal, SpaceX, Tesla, and beyond. Each new venture pushed boundaries and challenged norms. The world watched in awe as Elon transformed entire industries, earning billions along the way. But through it all, he never forgot where he came from, or who had shaped him. Back home, Maye watched her sons rise with pride. She knew how hard he had worked to get there, and she understood the weight of his responsibilities. Yet even as Elon's star soared, Maye remained grounded. She continued modeling, speaking, and inspiring others, carving out her own legacy separate from her famous son. And yet, despite all her accomplishments, Maye stayed humble. She often said that her greatest achievement wasn't her career or her fame, it was raising 3 incredible children who were making a difference in the world. By the mid-2000s, Elon Musk had become a household name. SpaceX was launching rockets into orbit, Tesla was redefining electric cars, and Solar City was paving the way for renewable energy. The world couldn't stop talking about him, his brilliance, his audacity, his larger-than-life ambitions. But behind every headline, there was a quieter truth. None of this would have been possible without the foundation laid by Maye Musk. Maye knew better than anyone just how far Elon had come. She remembered the boy who once built robots out of scrap metal, the teenager who coded video games in his bedroom, the young man who left home with nothing but a backpack and a dream. And now here he was, standing on the brink of changing the course of human history. It was surreal, almost unbelievable, but success came at a cost for both mother and son. As Elon's empire grew, so did the pressure. He faced countless setbacks, from failed rocket launches to near bankruptcy at Tesla. Critics called him reckless, arrogant, even delusional. They questioned whether he could pull off his grand visions. Through it all, Maye stood by him, not because she agreed with everything he did, but because she believed in his potential. She reminded him of the lessons she'd taught him as a child: resilience, determination, and the importance of staying true to your values. One of the most defining moments came in 2008, a year that nearly broke Elon. SpaceX had suffered 3 consecutive launch failures, burning through millions of dollars in funding. At the same time, Tesla was struggling to stay afloat during the global financial crisis. Investors were pulling out, employees were losing hope, and Elon himself was stretched thin. Many thought he wouldn't survive, but Maye refused to give up on him. She called him regularly, offering words of encouragement when he needed them most. "You've got this," she'd say. "Just keep going." Those simple phrases carried more weight than she realized. They reminded Elon of his roots, of the woman who had worked multiple jobs and sacrificed everything to give him a chance at success. Against all odds, Elon turned things around. In September 2008, SpaceX successfully launched its Falcon 1 rocket, becoming the first privately funded company to send a liquid-fueled vehicle into orbit. A few months later, Tesla secured crucial funding, saving the company from collapse. These victories marked a turning point, not just for Elon, but for Maye too. Watching her son overcome such monumental challenges filled Maye with pride, but also reflection. She thought about the early days, when they lived paycheck to paycheck, wondering if they'd ever catch a break. She thought about the sacrifices she'd made, the sleepless nights, the missed holidays, the constant worry. And she thought about how far they'd come, not just financially but emotionally. For Maye, this wasn't just a story of wealth or fame, it was a story of resilience, of grit, of believing in yourself when no one else does. And as her own career reached new heights, she realized something profound. She didn't need to live in her son's shadow. She had earned her place in the spotlight. In 2016, Maye released her memoir, A Woman Makes a Plan. The book chronicled her journey, from her tumultuous marriage to her struggles as a single mother, from her early days as a model to her rise as an icon in the fashion industry. It was raw, honest, and deeply inspiring. Readers around the world connected with her story, seeing themselves in her struggles and triumphs. For many, Maye became a symbol of hope, a reminder that it's never too late to chase your dreams. At the same time, Maye continued breaking barriers in modeling. At an age when most women are told they're past their prime, she landed major campaigns with brands like CoverGirl and Clinique. Her face appeared on billboards in Times Square, magazines across the globe, and social media feeds everywhere. People marveled at her confidence, her grace, her unapologetic individuality. She proved that beauty isn't defined by youth, it's defined by character. Through it all, Maye maintained a delicate balance. On one hand, she celebrated her son's achievements, attending product launches and cheering him on from the sidelines. On the other hand, she carved out her own identity, refusing to let her legacy be overshadowed by Elon's. She spoke openly about the importance of self-reliance, urging others, especially women, to take control of their lives and pursue their passions. And yet, despite her accomplishments, Maye remained humble. She often said that success isn't measured by money or fame, it's measured by the impact you have on others. by the love you give, the kindness you show, the lives you touch. To her, raising 3 incredible children was the greatest achievement of all. As the years passed, Maye's influence only grew stronger. She became a role model not just for mothers, but for anyone facing adversity. Her story resonated with people from all walks of life: single parents trying to make ends meet, older adults chasing second careers, entrepreneurs navigating failure and uncertainty. She showed them that no matter how tough things get, you can always find a way forward. Meanwhile, Elon's journey took him to places no one thought possible. He sent rockets to Mars, revolutionized transportation, and dreamed of colonizing other planets. Some called him a genius, others called him reckless, but one thing was undeniable: he was changing the world. And yet, even as Elon reached for the stars, Maye kept her feet firmly planted on the ground. She stayed true to herself, embracing the wisdom that comes with experience. She reminded everyone, including her famous son, that no matter how high you climb, you should never forget where you came from. Today, Maye Musk is more than just the mother of a billionaire. She's an icon in her own right, a symbol of resilience, determination, and reinvention. At an age when many people slow down, she's still charging full speed ahead, inspiring millions with her story. Her journey reminds us that success isn't about perfection, it's about perseverance. It's about getting back up every time you fall, and refusing to let anyone define your limits. For Elon, the lessons he learned from his mother continue to shape everything he does. Whether it's pushing boundaries at SpaceX or reimagining the future of energy with Tesla, he carries Maye's spirit of innovation and grit. He often credits her for teaching him the value of hard work and resourcefulness, traits that have defined his career. But beyond the business achievements, there's something deeper, a bond between mother and son that has stood the test of time. Maye doesn't seek recognition for what Elon has accomplished. To her, the real reward lies in knowing she gave her children the tools they needed to succeed, not just financially, but emotionally. She taught them how to dream big, how to handle failure, and how to stay grounded despite the noise around them. And while Elon's name may dominate headlines, Maye's quiet strength remains the foundation upon which his empire was built. As for Maye herself, she shows no signs of slowing down. In her 70s, she continues modeling, speaking, and advocating for causes close to her heart. She champions women's rights, promotes healthy living through her work as a dietitian, and encourages people of all ages to chase their dreams. Her message is simple yet profound: life is too short to settle for anything less than what makes you happy. But perhaps the most remarkable thing about Maye is her ability to remain humble despite her extraordinary life. When asked about her legacy, she doesn't talk about her fame or accomplishments. Instead, she focuses on the relationships she's nurtured, the love she's given and received. Family is everything, she says. Without my kids, none of this would matter. And maybe that's the true lesson of Maye Musk's story. Success isn't about money, power, or recognition. It's about the connections we build, the values we pass on, and the lives we touch along the way. Maye didn't raise a billionaire by chasing wealth or status. She did it by instilling integrity, resilience, and compassion in her children. Those qualities, not fame or fortune, are what truly endure. As the credits roll on this chapter of her life, one question lingers in the air. What will your story be? Will you let fear hold you back, or will you rise above it like Maye did? Will you chase your dreams, even when the odds seem impossible? The choice is yours, and if Maye Musk's journey teaches us anything, it's that the human spirit is capable of achieving incredible things. So the next time you hear the name Elon Musk, remember the woman who stood behind him, the woman who defied every obstacle, broke every stereotype, and proved that greatness knows no age or gender. Remember Maye Musk, the unsung hero of one of the greatest success stories of our time. And as we close this story, I'll leave you with one final thought. Every great achievement starts with someone willing to believe, even when no one else does. Who will you choose to believe in today?